Hello and welcome to the Keeper's Corner podcast with your hosts Matt Sterling and Brandon and Michelle Brooks. We are breaking down anything and everything Utica City. Let's go. Hello everyone and welcome to episode 9 of the Keeper's Corner podcast. Once again, it's your hosts Matt, Brandon, and Michelle, and this week we are again joined by the FC fanatic Matt Huber.
How's it going?
Who is currently on the road.
Yeah, who's currently driving? There's that.
Shh, don't say that too loudly. That sounds illegal. I don't know.
He can talk to his car. It's fine.
Oh, yeah, if you're one of those people with the fancy smart car.
I have a fancy car like that, so...
It's not as fancy as you think, guys. I'm holding the phone up to my ear as I'm talking, so.
All right.
We do not condone illegal activity. Shit.
Which, for the record, you wanted to do tonight, Michelle. Let me just throw this out there, guys. Michelle wanted to put the Keeper's Corners podcast stickers on the Baltimore bus.
I did.
Maybe next time. I don't know if I can get the order here next time, but maybe.
I will pay for it. I will find the money and pay for it.
I think we get like 100 stickers for $50.
All right, perfect.
Nailed it. All right, let's do this. Okay, anyway.
So we finally had some meaningful soccer this weekend with the two games.
We did.
They went as Matt and I called it, 1-1, both home teams winning. Definitely Friday nights was a lot closer than today's, just from a perspective of how each team looked. Utica looked more dominant in this one. They just avoided having that bad quarter that cost them the game on Friday.
Toby, I have to admit, Toby carried the defense today. Wholeheartedly.
Yeah, but I mean, you had some contributing factors. I mean, as I put it, and I will still say this, Vitali had a couple of very good clears. He definitely got it out of our end. As much as Huber doesn't want to admit it, he still definitely contributed to the defense.
He did. I will admit he contributed.
I have to admit, he also photobombed us at 72 too. Told us he didn't care if we didn't want him in the picture. He was going to be in it anyway.
Yeah. I mean, both games, the ups and downs. I mean, if you were to ask me, as a whole, I think Utica won 6 out of the 8 quarters.
Yes.
I mean, I think if you have to give Baltimore the second half of Friday night's game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, sadly.
But besides that, Utica dominated the first half of Friday night and all of tonight's game.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Have to admit, Segura, 5 goals, 2 games. Mighty Mouse is a fantastic acquisition so far.
He's proven his worth.
We heard it from one of the Sockers fans when we made the trade that he would fit right in.
He did.
Matt kept trying to tell us that he was a great player and would fit in, and it didn't take him long to make his mark on the team.
Yeah, I think he got lost in San Diego, and it pains me to say this because I love the guy so much, but I think Slavisa is going to do the same thing in San Diego. I think he's going to be lost in that whole fray. I mean, he'll score goals, don't get me wrong, but I don't think he's going to make as big of an impact as we think.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to be as much of a contributing factor as he is in Utica, or was at Utica, I guess.
He's going to get his free kick goals, and that's going to be great and wonderful, but have you ever seen Slavisa score from like 3/4 away from the field? No. Segura is quick and smart and knows what to do. He barely made any mistakes throughout both games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that chip. I mean, that was just one heck of a goal.
That was phenomenal.
That's got to be like a play of the week.
Yes.
Oh,
Well, it was the play of the game today, at least.
Yep.
Yeah, to catch Van Zella that far off his line, you're not going to do that.
Yeah, I'm surprised Vanzella was that far out. That didn't make any sense to me. But whatever, we scored, and
Yeah, I'm. So if we let's talk Friday first, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, 8-7 loss on the road, close game. Probably would have rolled the other way if it wasn't for that third quarter, where we gave up 4 goals to 0 scored.
Yep. Yeah, it was definitely had that third quarter curse, and it was just, it was. I mean, it was kind of what we've expected from Utica, unfortunately, up until this point. I mean, third quarters have always been our kryptonite, and that just kind of exemplified just that. And unfortunately, that's how it played out. They basically gave them the lead, and I don't think we never even got it back after that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I don't know if it was so much a Utica collapse as opposed to, like, Danny Kelly is one of the greatest coaches the MASL has. So I mean, your team is down 2 goals to a rival. I think he might have lit a fire under their rear end, and I think they made adjustments. Definitely a turn to which, I mean, they hunkered down. And what I said, in order for Baltimore to win, capitalize on mistakes. And look what happened. Coughlin gets a blue card for handling outside the box. Mm-hmm. And then Momo gets another blue card for tripping or whatever. So there's 2 mistakes right there, and Baltimore took advantage of both.
Yeah, it was, I mean, you can't make mistakes like that back to back, so close on top of each other on a team that's only 2 goals out.
You didn't see that tonight.
No. And I think more than anything is, Utica got, I don't want to say a punch in the mouth back there in the second half, giving up those 2 goals, but they certainly, weathered the adversity a little bit better.
Absolutely. I mean, the first goal, the first goal tonight was a complete and utter sham, in my opinion. I mean, it trickled through Coughlin's legs, and then it kind of dribbled around a little bit. So, it could have been 5-1 Utica, including Moy's quote-unquote not goal, but really a goal. But I'm sure we'll get into that later.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Between the 2 games, I definitely felt as though on Friday it was a much more offensive-oriented game. That's why it was such a high-scoring game for both teams. And then this Sunday's game, obviously, to me, felt more defensive to both sides. Hence why it became more of a lower-scoring game compared to Friday. I definitely felt like the defense on Sunday was much stronger with Utica than it was on Friday. They still had a pretty strong defense on Friday, but I don't know, they kind of came together better on Sunday. Plus, we had some more players, if I remember correctly, that weren't playing on Friday.
Right. I mean, you have to look at it. The field is smaller in Baltimore, as we all know. And I think it's prone, over the years, if you look at, Soleil de Sonora and the games in Turlock and the games in Baltimore, they're more high scoring because there's more room for error. And if someone makes a mistake, that other team is going to, pounce on it. And so an 8-7 game in Baltimore shouldn't, I thought it was going to be a little less, but it shouldn't surprise anyone that 8-7 was the score of that game, because I mean, they were all over the place as
Mhm.
opposed to tonight's game. Tonight's game's more wide open, and there's a bigger field, and people can get behind the ball more.
Yeah, definitely.
But
Yeah. No, tonight was definitely more of a defensive game. Honestly, let's be real. Let's be honest here. The game should have been 4-1. However,
Should have been 5-1 if we're really.
it should have been
hairs.
5-1. But let's split hairs here because Moy technically did score. The ball did come down behind the net.
Yeah.
Behind the line.
Behind the line. You know what I meant. What Donatas? They only got lucky for that last goal because of the penalty goal.
Mhm.
It should have been 5-1, 4-1.
Yeah, that was because of the handling by
Yeah,
Liam,
the
was it?
handball by Liam, but that wasn't. But we won't go into that.
No, if anyone's in the Massive Off the Wall group, they've seen the conversation about that, and even neutral fans are kind of like, I don't know, that was an iffy call to make.
But how many other handballs did we see that didn't get called tonight?
'Cause
How
they
many
were in-
penalties did we see that didn't get called tonight?
I don't know. I
yeah.
think,
But
well, with
you're gonna have that-
Dantas's penalty, I think it was Callahan and tripping as opposed to, because that's why he ended up getting the red card. I think he got a penalty for tripping in the box or something like that. I don't think it had to do with Coughlin doing the handball. I think it was more Liam than anything. But that was just a ridiculous penalty in my opinion. And
Yeah,
Definitely.
and here Liam has to deal with it.
and hopefully he hangs out with us in Rochester on Friday. But anyway,
Yes. By the way, we have a new listener, Matt. I don't know if we told you this. Mr. Miyagi Goldman is a new fan of ours.
I got to tell you, I sat and talked to him for a good 15 minutes after you guys left. And
Wonderful guy.
I'm a fan. So
Mhm.
we'll get
You
into
have to
that.
get it
I'm sure
right.
we'll get into that later.
Yes, Sensei.
He is not Mr. Miyagi. He is the Karate Kid.
He is the Karate Kid. I'm so sorry. Yes, Sensei. He
Um,
loves that, by the way. Loves it.
so yeah, Friday's game, 8-7. Come back, regroup,
Mm-hmm.
home opener. They had that really cool, I guess, march around the concourse there.
I love that. Can they do that every game?
I don't think that's going to be an
I
every
wish.
game thing.
Yeah, I think it's too much for every game, but for a home opener to get the fans back into it,
I could
great
see it
idea.
happening again, maybe for like a playoff.
Yeah, I can see
Playoff,
that
yeah.
happening in the playoff.
Yeah, because they did, oddly enough, they did something similar, sort of. Yeah, in Syracuse, they did a bagpipe.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
All right, so we bring
Played
it
the
back for St.
bagpipes and they
Patrick's
came out,
Day.
but they didn't go like around the field like that. That was pretty cool.
hmm And then, we come out, first quarter, Segura gets a goal.
Mhm.
Second quarter, Callahan off that free kick, upper 90.
And then
That incredible three-quarter length goal from Segura, halftime.
Mighty Mouse.
Coughlin hadn't been too involved at that point, but on the saves he made, he was standing on his head.
He was amazing.
What do you have? 87% save.
He had a
7.5, yeah.
87. He saved 7 of 9 shots tonight. Friday he had a 67 point whatever percent. He was actually more efficient in goal both games than Vanzella.
Yeah,
Well,
Vanzella, I gotta say, Vanzella surprised me. Like I said, when Segura scored the three-quarter length goal, like he was out there like pretty far. Like I didn't expect him to do that. And Segura, to his credit, he saw it and took advantage of it. And wow.
Yeah, he was very much out of position, and Segura capitalized on it.
It seems to me, and I'm not that long of a fan like Huber is. It seems to me that Vanzella seems to not. He doesn't like the unknown. So things that could be coming at him, like Segura from the 3/4 mark, or Liam from the free kick.
Well, that's the thing is, a lot of the time, from what I've seen over the past year, you don't see chip shots like that. And so for the fact that, we did that to them, it's definitely not something that most goalkeepers that I've seen would expect. They come up to try and assist, to try and almost play another defender, instead of playing goalkeeper, and he just caught him out of position.
Well, but that's my point, is he's used to the coming at you, coming head on, coming from the diagonals. He's used to ground play. He's not used to air time, it seems like.
I think Vanzella, and I respect the guy so much. He's a great guy off the field, on the field. He's a beast. But he was the reason why. I mean, Gonzalez should have scored because of him.
Oh, yeah.
Vanzella passed it right to him.
Yep.
And Moises chipped it over him, and it went in, and obviously they didn't count it. But I think you're starting to see Vanzella, like, and it pains me to say this, but I think he's kind of like taken a step back a little bit. Now, I'm not going to say that for the playoffs, because in the playoffs, he's a god amongst gods. But right now, I mean, he let in, look at Friday. Bo scored from like half field, from midfield. Why? Because Vanzella did the same thing. Vanzella passed it right to Bo. Bo chipped it over and scored.
Yep.
So, I don't know if it's him like taking a step back or what, but I mean, I'll take it,
I mean, we did.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say we did see Coughlin throw it over Vanzella's head last year. So
yes, we did.
Twice.
Does anyone know why Bo's goal in the first quarter got called back today? Bo scored at one point, but it got called back.
I don't remember that.
No, that was today.
I don't know. There were a lot of calls.
I know Vanzella's pretty much like the second shot Moises had over his head. Like, Vanzella jumped in the net and like did a barrel roll in the net. I don't know if you guys saw that. It was fourth quarter.
Was that where Moise scored but didn't score?
Well, it looked like where he scored again but didn't score.
Yeah, he didn't score again because it like hit the top of the bar, but Vanzella
and then chipped down.
Vanzella did like a barrel roll into the goal. It was kind of funny.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
And, there were a lot of confusing, I will say, calls today. Like the one right by the scorer's table where it was lined up for Utica to take the ball, and then in the middle of restarting it, they're like, no, let's give it to Baltimore.
Yeah, yeah. Some of that stuff just didn't make sense.
Didn't bode well.
Yeah, it got chippy towards the end, and I don't know, like, I don't know what the referees were thinking, but it seemed like, I mean, in regards to the refs, I think it was called pretty well, but at the same time, towards the end, there probably could have been a few calls our way.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not going to sit here and complain that.
I had no issues.
Baltimore out of the win, because I mean, Utica deserved that win 100%.
Yeah, I had no issues with them the first half, but yeah, really look, third quarter things were just starting to get chippy, and they took a little while to start pulling the blue cards, and by then it was too late. Things had gotten out of control.
Right. Which, I mean, to be honest with you, it's normal for this rivalry. Like, you saw a lot of stuff that wasn't called.
Yeah.
Because I think the refs are realizing, like, it's Baltimore and Syracuse / Utica. Like, it's going to be a physical game from start to finish. So they're only going to call things that are like completely blatant.
Oh, I guess we should stop talking about the refs and talk more about the play. And it was phenomenal today. It was crisp. It was clean. Diego's got his first one for Utica. After, to my knowledge, he hadn't even practiced with the team.
Yeah, should have had the second during the Utica power play in the fourth quarter, but Diego's when he signed, I mean, he had been a thorn in Syracuse's side for years, and to see him come over, like, he's going to be a valuable target forward from here on out. I have no complaints about his play. I mean, yeah, he could have scored that second one, but I mean, he did contribute, and that's all that really matters.
Mm-hmm. 3,711 in attendance today. So basically another sellout.
Including former Utica City FC, current Florida Tropic player Joey Tavernisi. It was good to see him in the crowd.
Yeah, wish we had stayed to catch up with him at 72, but past is in the past.
He was a great guy. He still is a great guy.
Yeah, it was definitely, it was unfortunate to not see Peter Pan on the field, but
It's nice to see him after the game.
It was very nice to see him and catch up after the game. Nice to see him, coming out to support the team, not actually being a part of it anymore. It was just all around good to see him.
3,711. You have to like let's just think of it this way, guys. Balt, who has been in this league for years and years and years, and they had 2,600 and something. Okay, and we turn around and we pull 3,711, which in that. I mean, yeah, we should look at like numbers like that for attendance, but what we should really look at is how many like percentage to capacity. Like, that place was packed.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And I think, and I hope someone listens to this and can correct me if I'm wrong. But I think Utica led the league last year in attendance to capacity. Yeah, San Diego had like the attendance like lead or whatever, but they're in a big arena. Like, we're in an arena where it's like 3,500 people, so we're pulling in like 100%. So that place is packed. And that's something that I think that we should be looking at, and that's something we should be proud of. Like, we're filling our arena 100%.
Yeah, I'm sure if you looked at, I guess you could say the number of sellout games that Utica had last season versus, maybe what San Diego had, or any other team potentially. I could see that maybe Utica had more sellouts. Again, and like you said, they might have had more attendance, but that's only because they had a bigger arena. So, it's very possible that, we'd have to look into it. We have to look to see, we don't want to make any assumptions, but I mean, it's very possible that, we sold out more times than any other organization did last season.
Oh yeah, I would pretty much guarantee that.
Yeah,
I mean, we have a smaller arena, but at the same time, we're filling it. Like, I would rather have a full arena. I would rather have 3,500 people in a full arena than 3,500 people in an arena where it seats like 10,000.
Oh, absolutely. And what makes it more impressive for the franchise here is, yeah, you look at the city of Baltimore has a population of 60,000 or 600,000. I'm sorry, which is 10 times Utica's 60,000, and we can pull in more fans.
Yep.
And I have to mention this because I'm sure we're going to talk about it, but I think Baltimore is kind of jealous to what we have. Have you guys noticed, like, the pregame ceremonies, like how Baltimore has a video all of a sudden, and how they have a special section for people to hang out in?
And a drum.
You guys ever heard of those things?
No.
I don't know. I've heard of like a beer garden, but I don't know if that's the same as a party section.
Yeah.
You know, and now all of a sudden there's a drum.
I mean, a drum's a drum.
And yeah, so I think Baltimore is starting to kind of take a page out of our book.
Coach.
Kind of, appeal to the modern crowd.
I mean, you got to look at it this way. If we were setting precedents, setting standards in our first season that other teams are pulling from, I mean, I guess that's kind of a good sign for Utica that, hey, people are taking notice and being like, they're doing things that are working. We should do that too, to kind of, make it more, I guess, crowd friendly, or, more, for the fans. And I guess I'm not going to complain that they're taking stuff out of our book for that. I mean, great.
And it's funny you mentioned that, because as you guys know, I talked to John Raymond, who is Ben's brother, but he also is a big part of the MASL front office, and he was telling me that he's trying to get other teams on board with what Utica's doing. So it's not, I think what Utica's doing, the blueprint for what they're doing, don't be surprised if you see that throughout the MASL.
Well, I mean, we also had best social media, best. There was something else.
Yeah, all those front office awards.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Which, if Utica doesn't win this year, there's something wrong.
Yep.
Yeah.
But.
All right, so 2 games in the books. We're 1-1. At this point, we can turn our eyes to Rochester on Friday.
That's right.
We will be there.
7:00 matchup in the Rock Dome Arena in Henrietta. All 4 of us will be
If Callahan wants to sit with us,
there's a seat.
He's more than welcome.
That's if hopefully, I would rather hope that, maybe the red card gets rescinded than him sitting with us. But I mean, it is what it is.
Party.
I don't think you're going to see it rescinded, because it was 3 fouls, and that's kind of like standard for MASL.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm definitely very curious to see Utica, in this throughway rivalry. It's Rochester's kind of been, a little bit of an unknown going into the season. I mean, they are coming up from MASL 2. We haven't exactly played them before. We haven't really seen them in this league at this level. So it could be very interesting seeing how they play and how they match up against Utica, especially given, the layout of this team this year, especially. I think it'll be a very good game for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And you were there when we talked to Ryan Hall, and he's kind of worried about this matchup, because he thinks that Doug Miller, who has kind of like I think he knows what Utica's all about. So he thinks that Rochester's going to come out and just have everyone just kind of hang out in the back and just play a more defensive-minded game. So I think the key for Utica is just keep doing what they're doing, because Baltimore's the same exact way. And I think ball possession is going to be huge.
Well, I mean, going into this game, too, we're going to be seeing some new faces. If I remember correctly, Togbo will be cleared to play in this upcoming game. So
Cleared.
Hopefully Zuniga.
I haven't heard anything about Zuniga just yet. He's eager to play, which
yeah, definitely seemed it.
But
anything on Salas, since he has a history with Rochester?
Yes. As Michelle and Brandon know, we had quite a table hanging out with us. We had Tommy Tanner, and I wouldn't expect to see Salas until possibly the end of the season, towards the end of the season.
Okay.
He's got commitments in Brazil.
But he is still with the team, then.
He's still signed with the team.
He is still with the team, absolutely.
Okay.
But don't be surprised if you don't see him until the end of the year, if he wants to play.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you have to stick with your commitments. I mean, that's the way of the world. I mean, will we miss him? Sure. But I mean, it's definitely, you got to do what you got to do. And that's all you can say.
Will we miss him?
Oh yeah.
Will we miss him? Absolutely. But it's next man up.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why Tommy went out and got Zuniga and Gonzalez and Diegas and all of these guys. And there are some guys that aren't on the team just yet that we might be getting. I can't say anything, but we're not done yet.
You're such a jerk, Matt.
Well, if it has anything to do with the Metro Stars folding, say nothing.
All right.
He's kind of got you there.
Oh, that face though.
I say nothing. I will not say anything until the announcement is made. Okay. But yeah. So there's that.
Yeah. All right.
On that note, it is pretty unfortunate to hear about, the Metro Stars folding. I mean, it would have been nice frankly, it would have been nice for, just season clarity if it had happened sooner. However, I can definitely understand holding out to the last minute just to see if you can get a team together, and be able to participate. So,
but I understand that, but I mean, like I said, I mean, when you guys went off and saw Joey, I talked to John Raymond, who is part of the MASL operations, and he was like, this was crazy.
Oh yeah.
Like they thought they were like a part of this league up until the other day, but in reality they weren't really. I mean, if you're going to run an organization out of 6 different arenas, you'd better make sure these 6 arenas can house anything. But apparently the first one didn't, and then
it just went downhill.
Yeah, it went downhill from there. So
quickly.
I mean, mad props to them for getting the schedule situated.
Yeah.
It really, to put it into a lack of a better term, without swearing, it turned into a thunder duck.
Yeah.
It just imploded quickly.
It turned into a dick gravy.
It did.
Sure.
It really did. I'm sorry. Apparently that wasn't the rest actual name. Apparently his name was Rich Gravy.
Gravy. No, Grady.
Grady, I'm sorry. But I apparently called him Dick Gravy the whole game. I am sorry.
Oh my lord.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Yeah, that's for another podcast, apparently. But
I'm sure you'll probably have to.
You'll probably have to edit that, Matt. Sorry.
You know what?
I wasn't necessarily swearing. However, if you stop and think about it, next podcast will be coming back from Rochester. Podcast after that, it will be after my birthday celebration in the beer bunkers. Hopefully. So if anybody from that does listen, why are there butterflies on your pillow?
Okay.
My blanket,
Oop.
I'm not in bed yet.
I will be. It's almost 8:30. We have a dog mad at us, so.
All right. Yeah, I guess we'll kind of wrap it up quick then. I guess we'll touch. We tried this week to do a giveaway based on interactions on both social media and listens.
You probably still could. We did get a lot more.
We did, and I said I'd give 2 away if we got to 50 listens. We got to 32. There were 2 contingencies that would have added 2 more hats to it on Facebook. Neither one of them reached half the goal, so we'll still give away a hat.
Who are we giving it to?
We'll be announcing it on our social media in the next day or so. I haven't had a chance to set up I'm going to have to do it as a raffle and like an RNG.
Do a name generator.
That would work.
Name generator. Shut up.
But once we have a winner, we will be in contact just to get a mailing address and send you your hat just in time for winter.
They are really warm.
Yeah, they're
fantastic.
They're very nice.
I wore it for 5 minutes. It was great.
I'm sorry Hannah stole yours.
Yeah, and she didn't wear it tonight.
Sorry,
Grounded.
Matt.
Sorry.
Grounded.
She said she has a 1-game suspension.
Fantastic.
I just want to say, before we go any further, I want to thank everyone for listening to this.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I know you guys put a lot of effort into it, and it's exciting because, I mean, as you know, I do 73 other podcasts, it seems like, and getting the word out on the MASL, it's not unnoticed.
Mm-hmm.
As I was talking to John Raymond, he mentioned, like, he listens to all of these podcasts once in a while. So it's great that we're doing this, and it's great everyone's listening to it. And I think that if we keep it going, I mean, there's no stopping us. Yeah. You know what I mean?
No, just today during the game, my phone kept going off because we were getting more followers on Twitter.
Right.
Which hopefully means more listeners.
I mean, the fact that we have, these people that are willing to listen to us basically ramble on, let's be honest, at least myself is basically just rambling.
Yeah,
but
it's not just fans of the game, it's players.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I do in the box, like I've had players from Syracuse listen. I've had players that used to play in Utica. Like I've had players from San Diego. Like it's not just the fans; it's the players themselves, and that's why I do this, and I'm sure that's why you guys do this as well.
Yeah, it's a great little community. It's a great way to push. Michelle, you have something?
Yes, exactly. I have been in contact with another team. We might be having a former Utica player on the podcast sometime soon. So we'll see how that goes.
Depending on if we get to go ahead.
Depending on if we go ahead from the new team, yes.
Well, that's always exciting.
Right? He's excited. The team's excited. Everyone's excited.
That reminds me. I need to put that sticker in the mail for him.
You're awful.
Slacker.
I'm sorry. It is sitting on my table, and I go away, and the apartment gets cleaned, and I find it put in the miscellaneous drawer.
I could deliver it to him, hand deliver it to him in February.
I think he might want it before February, Matt.
You never know.
I'm offering my services.
That's true.
If we haven't gotten to it by February, then we're gonna probably have to send it with Matt.
If we haven't gotten to it by February, we got a problem.
Well, there's that too, but
I have an idea. I'll get with you guys on Friday, but I think I just came up with something, so I'll get with you on Friday.
Okay. Or there's the group chat
for
too.
him. For him, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Otherwise, that's pretty much everything for this week, I believe.
Mhm.
We'll mention again, we're in section 103, right next to the Utica bench on Friday. Matt, I don't know if you're going to be able to make it down from work fast enough, but
He will
Brandon
try.
and I, hopefully, we'll see on you, Michelle, just because time constraint for driving. Brandon and I are going to be at the Fireside Bar and Grill about 5 minutes from the arena in Henrietta beforehand. If anyone wants to stop in, have a drink, chat a bit, be easy enough to find us. We'll be there in Utica Blues.
I will be, oddly enough, I will be at the Rock Dome at 6:00.
Okay.
I have to talk to Soccer Sam. There might be something going on. I will definitely let you guys know, but I will be in Henrietta at 6:00
Well, if the
at the arena.
time plays out as we expect, we should get there about 5 o'clock for the Fireside, and
Okay.
then 6:15 for the arena.
All right. Yeah, I'll let you guys know.
I will be there after 7, and hopefully I have a buddy next. I have Brandon, but we'll see if Callahan actually takes us up on our offer for the seat.
Or
we'll just have to see.
I'll send him a message on Twitter. I'll find out. But if that seat's still available, it's his. So.
last I checked, it was available, at least as of this morning. That being said, yes, the flag will be there, Michelle. I will have the flag in Rochester.
Awesome.
Gotta get those last few signatures on it.
Yep,
Yeah.
we need Jake, Raymond, who else?
And Diegues.
And Diegues.
Diegues, yes.
All right.
And that's probably the easiest way to find us at the Utica games, because
Yeah, just look
It's on
for
a
the
Don't
pole.
look
flag.
for the flag.
Look for the
strip
sticky
blue lipstick.
or the sticky floor.
Matt, you know what?
I guess just one last thing for me is I made it onto WKTV's coverage of the game tonight.
That was a pretty big misquote, honestly.
Very nice, Michelle.
Yeah, on the online one, it kind of chopped them all up and put them together. But
It did.
Yeah, it basically made it sound like the fans were really friendly with the fans and stuff. So it definitely, I heard you make the quote, and it definitely was
Wasn't what
a little
they
bit
put
misrepresented, but it got the message across if you really read between the lines. So it is what it is.
you gotta do what you gotta do to fit it in, the time segment they have.
The time segment and just the text field that they had.
I mean, clearly we could just ramble about the team all day, so we're not the ideal interview candidates.
Well, Michelle and I would like to welcome you to the club.
I know.
Being on camera for Utica City.
Yeah,
We would. We
you
really
guys
would.
did get that for the playoff game last year at
We
72.
did. With Alicia, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Before she worked for the team.
Before she
Yep.
worked.
I'll just stay off camera. I'm good with that.
Precisely.
I have a face for radio, so
I've been told that.
This is the
too,
perfect
Brandon, don't
medium
worry.
for you.
Right?
I've been told that too.
thanks for confirming I'm ugly.
Oh!
Perfect.
All right, guys.
All right, so keep an eye on our Twitter and Facebook, and I'll announce the winner here in the next day or so. Otherwise, Matt, follow him on Twitter at FC_fanatic. You can't miss him. He comments on almost every Utica tweet. What's that, Michelle?
I comment on everything.
Everything. I was just
Everything.
gonna say.
I call
everything,
it everything. It doesn't matter.
everything
what it is.
Utica puts out and everything related to Utica.
Yep.
Right.
So until next time, I'm Matt.
Brandon.
Hi, Michelle.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.